Holla holla, it's your boy George Billionaire. Monday, as always, we're on our way to the studio, hustle hard. Now, one thing about life is that we're always learning. Now, every single day, there's new things happening. Phones updating software. But one thing that you personally may not be doing, which is causing your growth not to materialize, is that you're not updating and keeping ahead with what's going on. Which is why they always say a reader is a leader. Those who are making more and more money, progressing and becoming better, are people who are constantly becoming better through learning from others and other people's experiences, which is why they end up perfecting their own lives and becoming great. So today, make sure you tune in. There's so many amazing videos we've done on Hustle Hard, on the School Run Diaries, on so many live videos I've done, which are available on all platforms. Most of them, majority, are on YouTube. So if you follow George Billionaire on YouTube, choose the Hustle Hard series, you will be provoked, inspired, and equipped. And my core mandate, which I always tell people, is this: you may be far watching this video, you may be near, but you'll never get to understand my mindset until you watch all these videos. And all I am strongly wanting to emphasize to people is that if you're not transformed by the renewing of your mind, if you don't change your mind, there's no way you can ever change your life. So one thing I give freely to people, all you just have to do is watch the videos. And secondly, apply what I tell you in those videos. And I can definitely tell you that whatever you think yourself as surely will come to pass. But it has to begin in your mind, and you have to keep on learning. So, let's go on. Cappy Talk. We've been doing question and answer, and we've been answering some of the amazing questions from entrepreneurs around the country of Zimbabwe and around the world. And today we continue as we keep on learning, so that we can definitely keep on earning. Let's go.
But in this hour, we get into what we call Hustle Hard. And good morning, GB.
Holla holla. It's your boy George Billionaire with none other. On the captain seat today, we've got Just Precious. And always a big shout out to all the pulses all over the world who are tuned in. And as always, we're going to do 3 deliberate things today. We're going to provoke, inspire, and equip you by giving you some insight, some wisdom, some nuggets, and George's personal views on his experiences in life, which has helped me to go on this journey. And I definitely know these are going to be impactful in your life. But remember, like I always say, it's one thing to be a hearer, but the most important thing that you should do is to be a doer. So make sure whatever you hear today, whatever you've heard before on the many different episodes we've done, all it takes is just a little action, and you will be able to see your life changing for the good.
Yes, so today on Hustle Hard, I think to those that know about Hustle Hard, you know that we're all about empowering entrepreneurs and inspiring entrepreneurs with the tricks and strategies to make life easier and hustle smarter. So whether you're just starting out or scaling your business, we are here to help you with GB. And if you have any question to ask, you can send them through on the WhatsApp platform 0719 100 404 with any of your hustle related questions. And we'll further we can actually do a little something. We can have you as a case study if you send a voice, or maybe it's about your business or it's about you wanting to start a business. So do send them through on the WhatsApp platform. So for today's conversation, I'm going to play a little video or a little audio for you that are tuning in, and I think George will get to help us understand what this person was saying.
My wife recently sold a luxury home and earned a $7,000 commission. When she got home, she said she wanted to treat her coworkers to a nice meal. I told her, "You don't need to treat your coworkers. Instead, take your client out to dinner." A few days later, that same client referred another buyer to my wife. She closed another deal and made $12,000 in commission. This time, my wife asked, "Should I take this new client out for a meal too?" I shook my head and said, "Skip the dinner. Just give them a thank you envelope with the $6,000. She hesitated. $6,000 feels like a lot just for a gift. But she did it anyway. A few days later, that client brought in 2 more friends. Each of them bought a home. My wife earned another $24,000 in commission. My cousin works at a factory. Every payday, he gives his manager a pack of good cigarettes. Not long after, he was promoted to a management position at a new facility. His salary doubled. Whenever I take my car for maintenance, I bring a few cans of cold soda for the mechanic. After a few visits, he started giving me quiet advice, which repairs were unnecessary, what to avoid, saving me hundreds of dollars. At my office, parking is a nightmare. Every morning, I give the security guard a small bag of trail mix. Ever since then, even during peak hours, my car always has a spot. Coworkers think it's a strange coincidence. My nephew isn't the best communicator. I told him, every time you visit your boss, bring 2 bottles of Macallan whiskey. Eventually, his boss gave him a small project to lead. He made $40,000 from it. He gave $24,000 of that back to his boss as a gesture of gratitude. That year, something clicked for him. He kept giving, kept following the boss's lead. Within just a year, he earned $400,000. To thank his boss, he offered to return 60% of his earnings. The boss declined, so he gave the money to the boss's parents instead. From then on, he became the most trusted and valued person in the company. The next year, he made $650,000. It took the boss 35 years to build his network and career. My nephew grasped it in less than 2. Looking back, it almost feels like the boss was working for him. One of the most underrated secrets to success is the mindset around strategic generosity. It's an open secret, but only a few truly understand the art behind it. In an age where emotional intelligence often outweighs raw intellect, the most successful people are often masters at reading and influencing human psychology. That's what most people miss. They treat success like a numbers game. Work harder, hustle more, keep pushing. But here's the truth. You can work hard your whole life and still be overlooked. If you don't understand people, because the game isn't just about what you do, it's about who you influence, how you connect, and when you make the move.
All right, so that's the sound we had to play. So I think it's about emotional intelligence and human psychology. And I did a little bit of research, and I understood that emotional intelligence refers to the ability to recognize and understand emotions in oneself and others, to use this awareness to guide thought and behavior. In today's fast-paced, interconnected world, EI, which is emotional intelligence, has become increasingly important for personal and professional success. So I want to understand, why is it important what is the most effective strategy for developing emotional intelligence, and how can individuals apply them in their daily lives as they're trying to hustle?
Wow, so this is an amazing audio we've just heard, and this is truly one of the greatest secrets that has caused many people to gain favor in many people's lives. Now, when I think about, there's a verse in Proverbs in the Bible which actually says, a gift in secret places, a gift given in private, causes you to get a specific different type of relationship with somebody, because you are actually doing what is called honoring somebody. Going back also to the Bible, there's a lady called Queen Sheba who went to see King Solomon. And when she went with a lot of things, and she gained a lot of favor. And when you honor somebody in that way, similar to what this audio just highlighted on us, it goes to show that you have wisdom for more. So because of our nature, even in business, I can tell you there's so many things regarding business. When somebody supports you and gives you business, majority of people don't even have the decency to be able to actually even just send a thank you message. They send a thanks, not thank you. They say thanks because they have received what they wanted. But when you are able just to say thank you, and depending on the amount of the business transaction it is, you should at least have some way of taking a client to dinner, like we were told, going out of your way to buy that person something of significance that will make that person be like, wow, that person actually really appreciates. Because if you actually think about it yourself, when somebody does what somebody else does not do, that person will always feel as though they should do more and more, because you simply honored them for what they did for you. So especially in the business world, I can tell you, with a business that I run, I've gotten so many referrals from people that I honored, people who I went out of my way, not just to say thank you or to just, acknowledge them verbally, but when you go out of your way to get something that matters. I remember there's a great businessman here in the country who taught me many years ago, and a lot of people may not actually see the value that he has created in so many people's lives. I know Dr. Stephen Magoles, still Wickno Chivayo himself, and he's one person who told me that, when you honor people, when you honor people and you give people, these people will become sneezers on your behalf. Sneezers, which means that these people will actually speak on your behalf. I remember Dr. Philip Chiangwa, same thing, Dr. Philip Mataranyika. Whenever they get something of substantial from somebody, a verbal acknowledgement does not mean much, and you need to go out of your way. And this audio, putting $6,000 in an envelope to give somebody to say thank you for the business you referred me to somebody listening, they may be shaking their heads thinking, that's the end of it. They won't get me any more business because they've already bought a house. But look, that specific lady came with 2 more people, and she actually made 24,000. So to people, they don't see that this thing works. But what it does is that you create people who are now for you. They went on to talk about the parking space. It's not about the big figures, but it's just about acknowledging and honoring people wherever you are. And you will get favor from others instead of you now, not being able to find parking or whatever it is. So when you honor people, those people will also give back to you. And especially for those people who are in business, I tell you this, the greatest secret I've learned from the greats is that if you don't honor people in a thing called business, your business will not grow. But if you acknowledge people, if you acknowledge them with gifts, with kindness, with appreciating them, it could be a massage parlor voucher, it could be buying them a perfume, it could be buying that specific individual his favorite soccer jersey, it could be buying a bottle of whiskey, it could be doing whatever it is. It could be getting somebody a ticket to go and watch their favorite game. It could be taking that person, husband and wife, on a flight to Vic Falls to go and spend the weekend because they've done something of substantial value to you. When you do that, it will cause those people you've honored to bring repeat business, to speak about you, especially when they're out on holiday. Hey, we saw you had gone out on holiday, or hey, you're smelling good, or hey, that bottle of, they will always speak highly of you. To say, oh, it was that young man who does air conditioning, George from Pro Air. He's the one who acknowledged us for the business we gave him, and he's a great young man. And people will speak highly of you because you went out of your way. So as a businessman, it's so important. This is a very simple, practical business secret. When you get business from people, thanks is not thank you. The basic thing at least you can do, and most of you have gotten great business from people and you've never gone back to thank those people. I've made it a point that people who began to support Pro Air many years ago, we used to do what are called certificates of appreciation. We used to give them vouchers. We used to, buy them some, little things of substance. That way, it would make them constantly show that, wow, this person is actually sincere. So this principle in life and in business works. It just doesn't work for business. I think, like you heard, this guy would get specific, advice from his mechanic because he honored those people. He would get specific parking because he honored these people. So where you honor will cause favor to follow you. But where you fail to acknowledge, honor, and actually appreciate people in life generally, you will not get what the other people do.
Right. There are questions on the WhatsApp platform. The first one is this like a kickback? Then the other one is this not bribery?
Okay, so I think there's a difference between a kickback, because a kickback is you actually paying somebody something before you get something. Right?
Yeah.
You want something, therefore you are asking them, listen, if I get this, I get that. But to majority of us, it could be as simple as taking somebody for a lunch or giving them a voucher. And in business, understand this, fortune favors those who think outside the box. Because you wonder, why does this guy always get parking? And there's a cone put no parking. And you can't ask that guard to remove that cone. But there's a guy who always buys the guard a drink. And can you say that's bribery? It's just acknowledging somebody in that regard. And this is why you get that favor. So if you are wise and you are smart, you will follow a simple principle. Bribery is different because it is set up from the upfront, right? You have to give me $10 in order for you to get this job. But when you are giving back to somebody, it's not stated, it's according to your appreciation of that individual. If you honor that person who gave you $1,000 deal and you take out $100 and say, sir, thank you so much. If it were not for you selecting us, we would have never gotten this business. You may find that may just be the one time you do it. And then from then, it's not only business from them, their own circle of influence is going to now begin to give to you. But if you keep doing that, it will expand and grow your business and your influence. But if you think it's bribery in your mind, then you're not ever going to grow, because remember, if the biggest of people do it, if you see our president and he visits another president of another state, this is protocol. You don't go empty-handed. You do not go empty-handed to see a person of influence or somebody who is great. You always go with something. You cannot say that's bribing. That's just a sign of honor. When you arrive with something in your hands, it shows that, wow, this person actually acknowledges me for who I am, and I should actually give this person attention because they are honoring me. So where honor goes, favor follows. And this is why those people now will begin to get so many specific things happening for them. But you who approaches people empty-handed, you wonder why maybe the president may not give you the things that you want, because of a simple thing. There are others who are wise, who have wisdom. It's not bribery. It's called honor. You approach with honor and you give this. You know, in the Bible, remember the 3 kings who went to receive Jesus when he was born? They arrived with gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Were they bribing? They were just honoring. And there's a reason they were actually written in the Bible, because they honored. So wherever honor goes, those people know that it's good for us to honor this specific individual, because this person is not an ordinary person. And because of that, I can guarantee you, it's a simple secret that will open more and more doors. Like I said, your name will constantly be on the mouths of the people you honor. And ultimately, that will increase your favor, your business, and so many other things in your life.
All right, there's also another question on the WhatsApp platform. And how can leaders use emotional intelligence to build stronger relationships with their team members and improve team performance?
Well, I love that. And, you know, where honor goes is not just outside the office. You know, I love organizations which you get into the office and you see worker of the month, and, you know, workers get specific, you know, incentives to actually acknowledge them. You know, in school, I remember you would be given a WOW badge, worker of the week, right? Or top boy, or whatever it is. All that does, it encourages you to perform. And because you have that, or your pictures is, you know, stuck up in the organization, it increases internal morale. When you honor, if you come to our organization, we always honor those who do great. And you know what that does? It encourages others to also perform at that specific level. So honor is not just supposed to be done, of course, outside to people who give you the business or people who you specifically want. But in the workplace, it's key to constantly keep the people who are the most important. I know there's a saying that says customer is king, right?
Yeah.
But remember, in order for there to be a customer, there are specific people who take care of that customer. And if those people are grumpy and not happy, you'll find that your business may not have repeat or actual good sales, because internally things are not okay. So it's important to also honor and appreciate those people who've worked in the organization for a long time. You appreciate them, you incentivize them, you know, you give bonuses more than once in a year, and you keep them happy, because failure to keep them happy is going to have a serious ripple effect on the progress and growth of the organization.
All right, so I want to know, what are some best practices for using emotional intelligence in marketing and sales to influence consumer behavior?
Okay, so I think, like I've said, one of the things that makes businesses, especially in this modern day and age, to grow is actually using this basic principle of acknowledging people who are doing who are helping your business grow. There's so many companies locally here in Zimbabwe where we are, and around the world, who actually give benefits or points to people who either have repeat purchases and they gain points. That's a form of acknowledging. Here in the country, there are networks that, there are certain privileges you get because you have an account with them, or you use a certain network, or whatever it is. So people generally want to be acknowledged. And if you're a business who acknowledges, hi sir, you bought your suits for dry cleaning for the past 4 weeks, the next one is going to be complimentary because we appreciate your support. That definitely will cause that person to be loyal to your brand. Right? If you go and take your car wash to a certain place, after a couple of times, sir, don't worry, this time you don't have to pay, it's on us. That definitely, causes people to feel appreciated. Because most organizations now are just about take. But in order for you to actually grow your business, you need to have some complementary things here and there, especially to those consistent supporters of your business. It will make them, to you as a business, it may not be much, but to them, the person you are doing it to, it will go miles for you, because that person will speak and say, listen, I go to that institution and they actually gave my car a full valet, or all my suits were dry cleaned for complimentary, because I've been a consistent, loyal supporter of this business. So when you do that, when you give back, also more importantly to the people who support you, it will cause a ripple effect. And I love the term sneezer. Saka a sneezer, if you do something for them and it's so good, they are going to sneeze on other people and tell them the good thing that you did for them that has now caused a ripple effect to their sphere of influence. So, we've done it at Pro Air, where we've given some of our clients a complimentary car aircon regas voucher because they bought some aircons for us. And because of that, it has caused more business to come just through a small thing, which cost us as a company $40 for the car regas, but it brought more people, because they said, wow, these guys give back. We need to support them. So as an organization, you always need to look how you can give back to some of those people who really go out of their way and have been loyal customers. Because if you don't, then one day somebody comes and says, listen, you bought 2 pieces of chicken, we're giving you 1 complimentary from us because you've been a loyal. That person is going to talk about that and say, listen, I've been with these guys 10 years, but just that 1 piece, that 1 little extra, more chips added, a drink on top of whatever, is going to cause people to now be talking about your business. Because trust you me, that actually affects consumer behavior. Because people like being given things, and when you do that, it will increase your sales at the end of the day.
Right, from conversations we've had, and as we've spoken to you so many times, you've always talked about networking. So how can individuals use emotional intelligence to navigate complex social dynamics and build stronger networks?
Okay, so I think how I've addressed networking is that networking helps you to grow, and when you are, especially now, a part of this, hustle hard that we're doing, and you're around people of similar mindset, you'll begin to change the way you do things. So networking for me, if I'm beginning to talk about networking, it will go on and on, because your network determines your net worth. We all know that. But if you want to grow your business and you are in a network of people who are doing and striving and doing amazing things, you'll begin to also apply the things that others are applying in their businesses to work. But because of your lack of a good network of people, and you keep hanging around the same similar-minded people who have never given back or done things that are different, like the audio we heard at the beginning, they will look at $6,000 giveaway as, no, you were 6,000, let me keep it in my pocket. But then you will not grow with that type of networked people, because they don't see that sometime in order to harvest more, you need to give more. And because of that, they will always lack. But remember, it says he who withholds will never have, but he who gives abundantly will have more. And that's exactly what this audio was talking about. So in life, in business, in anything that you do, uyo anopa ambofe akashaya, but he who's always greedy and holding back will never ever have much. So it's important that we actually get to this realization to say that, you know what, if we're going to grow, we have to be willing to do things outside our comfort zone. We have to network with people of different perception, especially regarding this very important element that regards to making it and becoming successful in life, which is you must give, you must acknowledge, and you must honor those people who've supported you and helped you go on this journey called life if you're going to become great.
All right, so we are a minute away from the news, and the last thing I have to ask is, what are some best practices for using emotional intelligence in marketing and sales to influence consumer behavior?
Okay, so I think I've said a lot today, especially regarding this basic principle. But I think people out there should do this. There's so many people who've helped you get a job, people who've supported your hustle from the beginning. You need to really look back at certain people and give back. Go and say, you know what, thank you so much. And, you know, as we're talking now, there's so many people who've come to mind who, many years back, I've gone back, written a letter, gone and given them something. And always what it does, acknowledging people will always open more doors for you. So it's always good to go back to those people who helped you to be where you are. Buy them a gift. It's never too late. Appreciate them. Take them for lunch. Thank them publicly in front of people. Make them feel good. And I can tell you that emotionally will cause them to say, you know what, I was part of Precious's journey on radio or George's journey with Pro Air, and he's become great and he honors and he's come back. So that will open so many doors. So I encourage people, go back and you'll be amazed at how many more doors that will open for you by honoring the people who made you great.
All right, it is Capital Talk, and it's 1 o'clock, and it's time for the news.